If you're a construction business owner, estimator, project manager, or something else who's sick and tired of getting phone calls and texts and scribbled notes from the field about materials that are required, that has half the information, and that you kind of stick on your monitor for a week and then forget about it and then realize you were supposed to order something 3 days ago in order to keep the project going, then you're going to love our material requisition form. So this is a form that kind of comes before a purchase order. It's generated by whoever is asking for the materials, so usually the field, which is why this form is accessible to both the field and to full users. And like all the forms on job site forms, it's really super simple to use. So as always, your company information is set up in my company profiles and my logos. And whatever is set up here is who you want these forms to be sent to. So if it's a field user account, you would set it up so they log in with their own email address or an email address that you've assigned to them. But then in the My Company Profile section, you would set it up so whoever they are sending forms to would be receiving that. That could be an admin person, could be an estimator, could be a branch manager, could be anything like that. Whoever you want those forms to go to automatically when they generate them, that's who you put there. That's also going to be used to build the letterhead type thing on the forms that they generate, and we'll show you that in a second. Logo is the same thing. It's just your company logo, and it's just usually easier to set it up for your field users. Project name, again, I would recommend that if you are working with one field crew per account, whoever's managing that crew would go in and just set up projects as they come in, because you're going to need some information about the project. So you would set it up so that they're ready to generate these forms as they need to. Same thing for clients. And the nice thing about limiting field users to one per group, even though you are allowed to share accounts and things like that, it just makes it easier so that they only have to deal with the projects that they're working on and the clients that they work for and so on. Also remember that everything they generate here is going to be saved in my files, so if they are sharing accounts, they're going to be able to see each other's requisitions and so on. If that's not a problem for you, that's fine. It's just a heads up that that is how that works. Next up, you've got the requisition number, and this, like all of our forms, is a prefix that allows you to search my files for that prefix and find all your material requisitions quite quickly and easily. Then you can filter by project name, customer name, and so on. All of the forms on our site do cache, so whatever was filled into this document last, that is going to stay in those fields. So as you can see, one over here, again, if you have one field user using one account, and they're only working on a single project, then this is going to be really simple for them, because every time they log in, they're just going to have to go, okay, I had one last time, it's got to be two this time, and so on. Otherwise, they'll just have to go to my files and check and see what the last requisition was for that project. So there's a couple more steps involved, but it's still fairly simple. You could also leave this blank and it'll just have REQM over there. You don't have to have a number. I just like numbers because I'm big into document control. Revision number is the same thing. It's very rare that you would need to do a revision, but you would be able to select here if this was like the second time you were doing this form and then you had to add something onto it or whatever, you could call it a revision over there. And then the date that you submit in your requisition. And you want to make sure that that's correct, because you can filter my files by date as well. So it's easier to find things. Yeah, so all of that is really simple and quick and easy to do. And then the next thing you want to know is whether it's a mobilization requisition or a field requisition. Mobilization would be the first one that you do when you're going to a job site. Field would be something that would be done by the field once they're already on a job site. The other thing that this is useful for is it can kind of trigger some questions. So if you get a requisition from the field and they're asking for something that was never allowed in the bid, then you need to start asking them, why are they requiring that? Because there might be a change order or an RFI or something that needs to be done. Likewise, if you see that you're getting a lot of, let's say you're doing hydrovac like we do sometimes up here in Canada to avoid underground services and so on, and you're hydrovacking and you didn't know before you started the project that you were going to have to hydrovac, and when you're doing sort of concrete work and stuff in hydrovac holes, you tend to use a lot more concrete. So then you can send your customer a note or a letter or something like that, or notification of intent saying, look, because of us having to do this, It's using a lot more concrete, so there's going to be an additional charge for that concrete, which we'll know when we're finished with this area of work or so on. Okay, I need to get hold of my client and let them know about this issue or whatever it might be. Next up is the submitter email, and again, we recommend that you set up your internal contacts. Someone in your office can do it, maybe an admin person, the estimator that works with the field users, and so on, so that they have all those emails ready to go, and then they can just select what they need over there. And the same goes for the procurement or operations email. And these forms do automatically send to both whoever is set up as the contact in my company profiles and to whoever you've put in this procurement email over here. So it's kind of automated. They don't even need to remember to CC someone on an email. It'll just automatically go there. Next up is the list of materials, and you've got 10 different materials that you can use here. So I've just got some stuff filled in here, what we need, how much we need. So this is going to be a quantity and a unit of measure, obviously, and then the date that it's required. And this is all independent, so if they only need certain things on a certain date, they can just go and select whatever that date might be and independently change all of those dates over there. And then you can just fill in as many as you want here. And then at the bottom, comments. And again, this is going to be a trigger for potentially other paperwork that needs to be done. Because if the material was short delivered, you need to get hold of your supplier, make sure they're not charging you for that material on the previous delivery, and so on and so on and so on. So this is a dual purpose thing. It sort of formalizes the material request process from the field, so you always know what they need and why they need it. And then it also kind of triggers other things that might need to happen. So one document, and then as soon as you're done with all of that, you hit the generate button. And as soon as you hit the generate button, it's going to email this form to whoever is listed over here, as well as whoever is over here. So they're going to automatically get this in their inbox, and they'll be able to start work on it right away. It'll also be automatically saved in the My Files area, and that cannot be deleted. So even if you lose the email or whatever, you can always log into the field user account and see exactly what was asked for over there. So yeah, that's how our material requisition works. It's a really useful form. Means that your field crews can ask for materials even when you're not in the office. You don't have to get those phone calls late at night. They can put everything on paper for you, and you can get a detailed list of what they need and why. So yeah, if you haven't checked it out yet, sign up at JobSite Forms. There is a 1-month free trial. You can cancel at any time, and I hope you like it.